I'm Tyler Hill with I-80 Gold. I'm the Vice President of Geology, and today we're going to talk about I-80 Gold.
We are. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, yeah. You're here for the Beaver Creek conference.
I am. First time.
First time?
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
How's the heart and the
You
shaking going? 'Cause
it's
we're quite high up.
Yeah, no, well, I'm in Reno, so we're at about 4,500 feet, so we're only a few thousand feet higher here, so it's okay for us. Yeah.
Well done you, well done you.
Yeah.
Hey, well, look, we've been talking to the I-80 guys now, certainly with the new management team on board, trying to understand, what they're doing, how they're kind of coming at things. I think it's a great opportunity to speak to you, Tyler. You've been with the project a while, and I-80 in the new incarnation for a while, but where were you before that?
Right, so before I-80, I was with Premier Gold, which was sort of the predecessor company to
Yeah.
I-80 since 2016. So I started there working on our Cove project. So now I've worked on Cove for a little over 9 years now. Wow. So I know it in and out, and it's fun to see it progress.
Yeah. So what's the challenge? What's the kind of focus? The new team have come in and said, look, we need to kind of get this thing up and running, some pretty lofty ambitions with regards to the amount of ounces they're going to be producing. What are they asking of you?
Yeah, so it's really refocusing on the gold assets and, getting these assets to feasibility stage. Right. So a lot of infill drilling right now, just kind of refocus on the goal and just advancing these projects.
Right, so infill drilling, obviously what that is, to what end and how much drilling are we talking about?
Yeah, so this year at Granite Creek, we'll do about 14,000 meters of infill drilling.
Okay.
We're drilling on about 50-meter spacing there. And what the goal really is to increase our confidence in the resource there. So going from inferred to measured and indicated in the resources.
Yeah.
At Cove over the last 2 years, we've done the same thing. So we've done about 45,000 meters of drilling at Cove over the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. All that will be rolled into a feasibility study that we plan to put out in Q1 of next year. And then we're going to do the same thing at Ruby Hills. So down at the Archimedes Underground project, we're just starting to go underground there. So later this year, we'll start drilling from underground. That'll continue next year, and then we'll look to put out a feasibility study.
Okay, so this is the pathway is mapped. You know what you're going to getting up to, right?
Right.
So talk about the team that's what you're working with.
Yeah, so it's a great team. There's been some additions with the new management team, but we're really well-rounded. We've got some really good, experienced people that have been in Nevada a long time. Mm-hmm. As you know, all of our projects are in northern Nevada, so but we really have an awesome team. But
you work with, how many people do you manage?
Yeah, so I manage about 15 people in total.
Okay.
Yeah. And
you guys are doing what? You got your own rigs or?
No, so we don't have
teams?
Yeah, so we don't have any of our own rigs. We use contractors for that. Right. But we have geologists at each site, and they kind of filter down from there. There's senior level geos all the way down to project level geos. Yeah. Geos that are core logging and just managing the rigs, and then I oversee all that.
Right, because I was speaking with your CEO a couple of weeks ago, and he was just talking. When I was kind of interested in this, talking about to do what you're doing, what you've just outlined, what you can do, and to be able to kind of move through the phases and into production. You got to have processes and systems, and the software, and the tracking, and the reporting, and all of that kind of. That's come into the company since you've been there, right? Yeah. How are you finding that?
I would
say,
is that
working for you?
It's great. There's a lot of attention to detail, which is great. And I think with how many moving parts we absolutely have to have that to be able to advance these in the timelines that we've set forth. Right. So I think it's working really well.
And the training is over, is it? Everyone's on board and bought into it, more importantly.
Everybody's on board, and we're moving forward.
Right. Okay. Now, let's kind of get into the detail a little bit about some of the things that you've talked about. Infill drilling for now. That finishes when? When are we?
So the Granite Creek will finish around the end of the year. Right. Cove is already complete for this year. Yeah. And then Ruby Hill will just start at the end of this year, and it'll probably go through most of next year.
Most of next year as well. Okay. And at that point, you're going to deliver what?
So we'll deliver a feasibility study on Granite Creek in Q1 of next year. Yeah. A feasibility study on Cove, Q1 of next year as well. And then a feasibility study planned for the Archimedes Underground project, first quarter of 2027.
See, there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, but in the big scheme of things, it's 3 high-grade underground mines and 2 oxide open pit projects. Okay. And they're all in northern Nevada. And so we operate kind of under that hub and spoke system. Yeah. So we have a central processing facility at our Lone Tree site, and that's an autoclave. Yeah. And so mineralization from those 3 sites would get trucked to that autoclave for processing.
Right.
And then the heap leach pads are at their own site.
So we talked about the need for kind of internal controls and systems and processes, etc. How do you kind of bring outside, not just like the drilling contractors, but if you're putting the feasibility study together, there's a lot of work in there.
Yeah.
Who are you working with?
So yes, we go out to consulting firms for the feasibility studies. So for Cove, we're working with SRK,
Okay,
you know,
good.
very well-known
Yeah.
large firm. For the Granite Creek study, we're working with Practical Mining, who we've
Right.
worked with over, you know, probably the last 10 or so years in Nevada. There will also be some other firms involved on that project as well. And then Ruby Hill, we haven't selected someone yet for that, but we will.
You got a bit of time for that one.
And then I'll mention on the Lone Tree Autoclave as well, Hatch is working on that
Yeah, I'd
for
heard
the
that.
engineering study.
That's fantastic, being able to work with them. Okay, so you know what you've got to do for the next kind of couple of years here. I mean, what are the other type of exploration do you like to do? Infill's boring. Come on.
You know, infill's necessary, and it's great, but you know, exploration is really my passion. So
talk to me about that. What do you like?
yeah, so you know, brownfields is great. That's kind of where I started my career with Cove,
Yeah.
right? Brownfields exploration. I think greenfields down the road is something that's really exciting. You
Okay.
know, it's kind of, you're on the frontier and you're trying to find something really new that nobody's.
I mean, what data have you got on that? And so you could have like your hunch is built on something, right?
Right.
Inclination based on data.
Yeah.
So what do you sort of what do you want to get after and why?
Yeah, so I mean, when you look at our sites and you look at them in the brownfield perspective, right, there's a lot of historic drilling across our sites. Now, a lot of that drilling is pretty shallow, right, because that drilling was the 80s, the 90s, maybe the early 2000s.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of drilling deeper than maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 feet. Of course, they never envisioned a gold price that we have now, and so we're drilling a lot deeper, we're mining a lot deeper. So, you know, there's a lot of historic data to work with on that side of things. And then we just have really robust geologic models now with all the drilling we've done over the last several years. And so we've developed exploration targets that have come out of those that are brownfields targets that we would step off on.
Okay. Well, what I'd really like is the opportunity to spend some time with you, maybe get into each of the projects in just a little bit more detail, understand what you're seeing, and therefore, you know, what's influencing your decision making. Because, like I said, you've got the company's got some pretty ambitious goals, and that's got to be based on some robust thinking. And more importantly, after this infill drilling, which is important, folks, work out how many ounces and how you get after those ounces. And if the gold price keeps moving, you may have to keep changing that cutoff grade.
That's right.
Right? So
That's right.
it's all exciting. It's all exciting
is.
stuff. So lovely to meet you.
Great to meet
and
you as well.
maybe a couple of weeks' time?
Yeah.
You up for that?
Yeah, I'm good
man.
for that.
Brilliant.
All right.